Good morning, dear students. Welcome back to English class. I hope you all are fine. Today, let us start the class with English 2, Chapter 8. Lucy looks into a wardrobe. Open page number 63. Let us know who is the author of this lesson. About the Staples Lewis, 1898 to 1963. He was a British novelist, poet, academic, literary critic, and essayist. He is best known for his fictional work like the Chronicles of Narnia and the Space Trilogy. So he was born in 1898 and he died on 1963. He was a British novelist. He wrote many poems, essays, etc. His famous works are The Chronicle of Narnia and the Space Trilogy. Open page 60. Getting started. If you were asked to visit a fantasy land, where would it be? Describe what you would want to see and feel there. Fantasy land means your imaginary, where you want to go in your dream. So you have to describe, if you go there, how you feel, what you want to see there, that is in your dream, that is fantasy land. This story is an extract from the Chronicles of Narnia, written by Irish novelist C S Lewis. It is a story of 4 British children who were evacuated to the safety of the countryside during World War II. While there, they found a wardrobe that led them to the fantasy. This is the story of 4 British children who were taken to safety. They were shifted to the safety place during the World War II. Then they found a fantasy world of Narnia. They saw a wardrobe there. Okay, now let us start with the lesson. Once there were 4 children whose names were Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy. This story is about something that happened to them when they were sent away from London during the war because of the air raids. They were sent to the house of an old professor who lived in the heart of the country. He had no wife and he lived in a very large house with a housekeeper called Mrs. Macready and 3 servants. This is the story of 4 children who were sent away from London during the war because there was air raids. Air raids is nothing but they were dropping bombs from the aeroplane. So they were sent to an old professor who lived in the country. They sent to the professor's house who was staying in middle of the country. He had no wife and children. He was staying in a very large house. With him, housekeeper called Mrs. Macready and 3 other servants were staying with him. He was a very old man with shaggy white hair and they liked him almost at once. But Lucy, who was the youngest, was a little afraid of him, and Edmund, who was the next youngest, wanted to laugh and had to keep on pretending he was blowing his nose to hide it. The old man was having shaggy white hair, that means he was having long thick hair, and they almost liked him once. The 4 children almost liked him once, but the youngest, who was youngest? Lucy, she was little afraid of him. And Edmund, the next youngest to Lucy, wanted to laugh seeing the old man but controlled his laugh. As soon as they had said good night to the professor and gone upstairs, on the first night, the boys came into the girls' room and they all talked it over. So what all the children did? They said good night to the professor, and when the professor went, these boys all came to the girls' room and they started talking with each other. "We have fallen on our feet, and no mistake," said Peter. "This is going to be perfectly splendid. That old chap will let us do anything we like." Peter said, "We have already come to this place and we have not done any mistake. It's going to be perfectly very good. We will have fun." Peter said, "That old chap, that old man will let us do whatever we like or whatever we want." "What's that noise?" said Lucy suddenly. "It's only a bird, silly," said Edmund. So Lucy heard a noise and she said, "What's that noise?" So Edmund said, "It is a bird." "It's an owl," said Peter. "This is going to be a wonderful place for birds. I shall go to bed now. I say, let's go and explore tomorrow." So Peter said, "It's an owl and we are going to have a lot of fun. It's a wonderful place for birds. There are many birds. Now I shall go to bed, and remaining tomorrow we will go and explore the other part." But when next morning came, there was a steady rain falling, so thick that when you looked out of the window, you could see neither the mountains nor the woods nor even the stream in the garden. "I am going to explore in the house," said Peter. Everyone agreed to this, and that was how the adventures began. It was the sort of house that you never seem to come to the end of, and it was full of unexpected places. The first few doors they tried led only into spare bedrooms, but soon they came to a very long room full of pictures, and there they found a suit of armor. After that was a room all hung with green, with a harp in one corner, and then a whole series of rooms that led into each other and were lined with books. Shortly after that, they looked into a room that was quite empty except for one big wardrobe, the sort that has a looking glass in the door. But when next morning came, there was a steady rain falling, so thick that when you looked out of the window, you could see neither the mountains nor the woods nor even the stream in the garden. So next morning when they woke up, they saw there was a heavy rainfall. It was so thick, when they looked outside the window, they were not able to see mountains nor they were able to see the roads. "I am going to explore in the house," said Peter. Peter said, "I am not going outside. I will explore in the house." Everyone agreed to this, and that was how the adventures began. So everyone agreed to Peter and they began to explore the house. It was the sort of house that you never seem to come to the end of, and it was full of unexpected places. The house was very big and there was no end for the house. There were many places and there were many rooms. The first few doors they tried led only into spare bedroom. So first few doors they opened were bedroom, but soon they came to a very long room full of pictures, and there they found a suit of armor. Armor means the metal coverings formerly worn to protect the body in the battle. It is a metal covering which you wear on your body when you go to fight or when you go for a battle. After that was a room of all hung with green, with a harp in one corner, and then a whole series of rooms that led into each other and were lined with books. After that, there was a room with a corner. The corner was having musical instrument, and then a whole series of rooms. Then there were many rooms which led each other and were lined with books, and there were many books kept. Shortly after that, they looked into a room that was quite empty except for one big wardrobe, the sort that has looking glass in the door. So there were many rooms which was empty, but in one big room they saw a big wardrobe which was having a glass in the door. "Nothing there," said Peter, and they all trooped out again, all except Lucy. "Nothing there," said Peter. "There is nothing." So what happened? They all left the room area. That trooped out means to leave one area for another in group. So they left the room and went out. Only Lucy was there. Looking into the inside, she saw several coats, mostly long fur coats, hanging up. She immediately stepped into the wardrobe, leaving the door open. Of course, because she knew that it was very foolish to shut oneself into any wardrobe. Soon she went further in. So what happened? She saw inside, and there were several coats. There were many coats which was having long fur hanging on the hanger in the cupboard. Immediately she went inside, opened the door, and she went in the wardrobe, but she did not lock the wardrobe door, and she went further. "This must be a simply enormous wardrobe," thought Lucy, going still further in and pushing the soft folds of the coats aside to make rooms for herself. Then she noticed that there was something crunching under her feet. "I wonder if these are mothballs," she thought, stooping down to feel it with her hand. But instead of feeling the hard, smooth wood of the floor of the wardrobe, she felt something soft and powdery and extremely cold. "This is very queer," she said. A moment later, she found that she was standing in the middle of the wood at night time, with snow under her feet and snowflakes falling through the air. So what happened? She went into the wardrobe, and she was going inside. She saw soft folds of coats, and she tried to make a room for herself. Then she heard some crunching sound under her leg. There was some noise under her leg. So she was wondering what it is. Then she saw there was an insect. Then she tried to bend and feel that insect and tried to hold it in her hand. But it was hard, and the floor of the wardrobe was not so nice. She was feeling something odd. It was like something soft, powdery, and it was like cold. It was very odd to see and to touch. It was an insect. Then what happened? She was standing in the middle of the wood at night. So she was standing in the middle of the wood at night, and under her feet there were snowflakes falling through the air. So there was a snow rainfall on her in the middle of the night. "I can always get back if anything goes wrong," thought Lucy. She began to walk forward, crunch, crunch over the snow and through the wood. And soon after that, a very strange person stepped out from among the trees into the light of the lamp post. From the waist upwards, he was like a man, but his legs were shaped like goats, and instead of feet, he had goats' hoofs. He had a strange but pleasant little face with a short pointed beard and curly hair, and out of the hair there stuck out two horns. He was a fawn, and when he saw Lucy, he gave such a start of surprise that he dropped all his parcels. "Goodness gracious me!" exclaimed the fawn. "I can always get back if anything goes wrong," thought Lucy. So Lucy did not stop. She went further, thinking that if something happens, she can go back home. She began to walk forward, crunch, crunch over the snow and through the wood. She started walking on the snow. Then soon after that, a very strange person stepped out from among the trees into the light of a lamp post. So what happened? Suddenly a man stepped out of the tree into the light of the lamp post. Then she saw a strange man. From the waist upwards he was like a man, but his legs were shaped like a goat's, and instead of feet he had goat's hoofs. So what happened? He from upward he was like a man, but his legs were not like a man. It was like a goat's hoofs. He did not had any feet. It was hoofs. He was strange but pleasant little face. He was very odd to look, but his face was very pleasant, with the short pointed beard and curly hair. So he had very pointed beard and his hair was curly. Out of the hair there stuck out two horns. So he had two horns. He was a fawn. Here fawn means a monster. Monster means half human, half goat. And when he saw Lucy, he gave such a start of surprise that he dropped all his parcel. He saw Lucy and he was surprised to see her and said, "Goodness gracious me." Students, let me explain the lesson in brief. This is an extract from the Chronicles of Narnia written by C.S. Lewis. It is the story of four siblings who are sent from London to the country home of a professor for safety from air raids during World War II. These four decided to explore the countryside and wished to go on exploring. Then they decided to explore the house also. While doing this, Lucy, the youngest of the four, enters a wardrobe and goes deep inside and enters a different world together. She finds herself in a wood at night where it is snowing and meets a stranger that is half man and half goat. It is a fawn. Students, I hope you understood the lesson. Now let us move on to understanding the text, page number 63. Understanding the text. A. Read the sentences and write the answers. First, the children lived here before they were sent to the countryside. London. Answer is London. Second, the children were sent to stay with an old professor. Third, name of the housekeeper, Mrs. Macready. Fourth, you use these in wardrobes to keep insects away, mothballs. Fifth, the first creature Lucy came across in the woods, fawn. Turn to page number 64, playing with the words. A. Unscramble the words from this story. The first letter is highlighted. First one in this, W is highlighted. Can you guess what will be the answer? Yes, it is wardrobe. 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 Second, C is highlighted and the answer is country. 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 Third, A is highlighted. So, can you guess the answer? Yes, it is adventure. ADVENTURE, adventure. Fourth, C is highlighted. Yes, it is coats. COATS, coats. Fifth, ROURMA, A is highlighted. So the answer is armor. ARMOUR. Sixth, here S is highlighted and the answer is surprise. SURPRISE, surprise. Okay students, let us move on to page number 65. B main, match the pictures with the emotions. Here they have given the emotions and the words you have to match. I think you can do this by yourself. It is for your homework. C. Use the dictionary to find two different meanings of the following words and then use them in sentences of your own. Here they have given the words. You have to find two different meaning for each word and make the sentence of your own. This is also for your homework. And the words are heart, wood, light, horn, notice. Students, B and C main, it is for homework. Write in your homework book. Next, learning the language. A possessive adjective is usually used to describe a noun and it comes before it. Here, possessive adjective means ownership, which belongs to me. I have explained this in my previous class. So, let us see the example. For example, my bag is bigger than her bag. So, here my, it is possessive and her is also possessive because it belongs to myself and herself. Next, a possessive pronoun is used instead of a noun. Instead of noun, we are using possessive pronouns. For example, Seema's dress is red, mine is blue. So here we are using pronoun. See the list to understand the difference between possessive pronouns and possessive adjectives. Here they have given the difference between pronouns and adjectives. You can just go through this. You will understand better. Possessive pronoun, mine. Possessive adjective, my. Yours, your. Hers, her. His, his. Its, ours, our. Theirs, their. So this is the list of pronouns and adjectives. Now let us move on to A main. Fill in the blanks with possessive adjectives or possessive pronouns. First one, this is Ruma's book. It's dash book. Here we have to write it's her book. The red car belongs to them. It is dash car. So the car belongs to them. So we have to write it is their car. Third, these books belongs to us. These are dash. These are ours. Next, fourth, I have a pet cat. Dash tail is black in color. Its tail is black in color. Fifth, Meena has left dash pen on the desk. Meena has left her pen on the desk. Sixth, dash cycle has been found. They are now looking for his lost helmet. His cycle has been found. They are now looking for his lost helmet. Friends, we have completed the lesson. Thank you.